If your business is hovering between 2 to 3K months, this video will teach you the one difference your content needs in order to produce consistent 10K months. And no, this isn't hype, because right now you're posting content consistently across your favorite platform. You're getting the reach, you're getting the views, and you're getting the engagement, but your sales, they are still capped. That's because a business that produces results has structure. Anything that produces a desired result has structure. Over the weekend, my church community and I got together to put 300 care packages together for the homeless. We had socks and toothpaste and toothbrush and soap and other toiletries. And in order to get the job done, we all had a role. I was in charge of socks, folding the socks, but we all had a role in order to get the job done. If we did not have this structure in place, it would have taken us a lot longer to get this done. We would have lost count, but most importantly, the bag would have been missing some really essential items. The same thing is true for your content. Your content needs to have these 7 essential pieces, which I'm going to share with you in order to convert your content into more paying clients consistently. But right now, you're creating content based off of what excites you in the moment and what you're inspired by. That means you're creating content from inspiration to inspiration, hope to hope, hoping that more people see you and hoping that more people buy. That's not structure. And that's not how this works. And so this is so essential to understand because content that consistently produces income has structure. And this is why you need a signature framework. Without a signature framework, you end up overthinking, over-explaining, and feeling overwhelmed. And that's why your sales are capped, because you're missing that piece of structure. Now, I want you to think about when you go on vacation and you take a picture. You get home and then you put that picture in a frame. Why do you put it in a frame? Because you want to remember that moment. You want to capture the essence of what happened in that moment and bring it home with you. You never want to forget it. You don't leave it scattered in your camera roll amongst the other photos. You create a moment for that picture by putting it in a frame. And when you put something in a frame, you create focus. When you put your ideas and solutions into a framework, a signature frame, that helps your audience to remember the things that you want them to focus on, which are the 7 critical things that's going to provide a breakthrough for your audience. When you're just creating content from inspiration to inspiration, you're sharing from your knowledge base. And creating consistent income online from your content alone isn't about how smart you are. It's not about what you know. It's about your ability to transfer what you know into a mini breakthrough for your audience so that when they read or watch your content, they're kind of ooh and ahhing at the things that you're saying. And you can only do that when you've created focus around the things you need them to look at. So it's so essential for you to have a signature framework. I'm going to give you the goods inside of this video. But if you already know that you want your content to have more structure and you're serious about hitting these 10K months, I want you to join my upcoming challenge. It is the Content Authority Blueprint Challenge. I'm going to be giving you not just the structure, but how to implement the things I'm going to be teaching you in this video, but I'm going to give you more personalized support. And you're also going to have the ability to answer or to ask questions. And I'm going to be able to answer them and kind of give you some feedback very specifically on your business. So what are these 7 things? These 7 things are so important because content is an ecosystem, and I can't say this enough. We tend to apply so much pressure on one piece of content to do all of the heavy lifting. And when we create pressure around one piece of content to just bring in all the sales, now we end up performing. And we're performing for the algorithm. But it's not the algorithm that pays us, it's people. It's people with a heartbeat, not just credit cards. The framework is essential. And so you want to make sure that you're treating your content like an ecosystem where everything is serving each other. Just look at nature, for example. I've got trees outside my window here. But everything works together. Nature is a biological community of interacting organisms. We have a bee interacting with a flower to make honey, and then we as humans, we're consuming this honey. That's a whole ecosystem. Everything has a place, but every individual piece and component is important. The bee is just as important as the flower. We are just as important as consumers as the flower and the bee and the honey that's being made. Everything has a role, but it all works together. Every single piece of content works together and nothing stands alone. So you can't keep treating your content as this one thing. So here are the 7 things really essential for you to have. The first thing is you want to diagnose the real problem. When you are diagnosing someone's real problem, you are already helping them to see something differently than they've been able to see before. So let's say I want to lose weight. And I think that in order to lose weight, I got to do more cardio. But the real problem is that I'm not doing enough strength training. And so you want to diagnose that problem. Why doesn't your person, your ideal avatar, your audience, why don't they have the result? Well, because they're thinking that they need more cardio when what they really need is to strength train. They need to lift more. So we want to diagnose the real problem. And when you have a framework, you're going to be able to easily see what your audience's real problem is. Because oftentimes, as coaches, experts, and thought leaders, we're kind of creating content for ourselves. Our content is not about us. Our content is about the people we are serving. But if we don't have a framework, then it's always about us. So we want to frame our idea for them, for the audience to understand, which means we have to understand what their actual problem is. And not from the lens of what we know their problem is, but the lens of what they also think their problem is. We have to have the point of view from the marketplace. So this is what I mean when I say I'm going to help you implement all of this inside of the challenge. But the first thing we got to do is diagnose their real problem. The next thing we want to do is disrupt their thinking. Why have they been believing that thing about losing weight? Why do they believe it's all about cardio and not about muscle building? Well, this often happens because of what the industry at large is feeding people. So if that's true in the health and fitness space, that's also true in your industry. There's going to be things that people are gravitating to that's actually not helping them at all. It's pushing them farther and farther away from their actual result. So you want to disrupt their thinking. After you disrupt their thinking, that's number 2. The third thing you want to do is you want to deliver a new possibility. So disrupt their thinking and deliver a new possibility. What's now possible for them when this thinking is all disrupted? What is possible for them now? Now you got to show them. And how do you do that? Well, you do that with step number 4. You design a bridge. You bridge their old thinking into their new possibility. And what you do is that bridge now is your message, and that message helps them to understand how they're going to achieve this new possibility. And then that takes us to number 5. You want to distill your message to their awareness. Their awareness. There are things you know as the coach, the expert, and the thought leader that your audience and ideal clients do not know. It is so important for you to take what you know and package it and say it in a way that they can understand it. Their awareness. So you have disrupt their thinking, and then you have the new possibility, and then you design the bridge, which is your messaging, and you want to make sure that that message is distilled to their awareness. That was number 5. Then number 6 is you want to draw out their new identity. Who are they going to be on this side of the bridge? Who are they going to be when they experience these tangible results? But also, who are they going to be on the inside? Because even though there are tangible benefits to using a framework, you're going to make more money in your business, I also know that you're going to get rid of overwhelm. You're going to get rid of anxiety. You're going to get rid of feeling like you're on the hamster wheel of creating content. It's all going to start to make sense. And so we have to be able to speak to the identity on a tangible level, like logically, but also on an emotional level. So who is this person that you're serving? Who are they now going to be after this transformation. After you show them what's possible for them, well, what is their life going to be like? Now they're going to be, if we're using the same fitness example, it's like now they're going to get to be in the gym for 30 minutes and get the same results as if trying to be in the gym for an hour, if not better results. So now you get to say you get to save time. But not only that, you're going to really feel accomplished. You're going to go to the gym and not feel like you wasted your time. So that is a completely new identity that I'm giving my audience. And then number seven is you want to direct their next decision. You want them to know what to do next. Do you want to invite them into a conversation? Do you want to invite them into your inbox, in your DMs if you're on Facebook or Instagram creating content? Do you want to invite them to make a comment down below on YouTube? Is there an offer that you're promoting? Is there a link in your bio? Is there a word that you want them to comment below so that they can grab your next offer, so they can join your next challenge, so that they can opt in somewhere to get more from you? You want to direct their next decision. And I want you to keep in mind that not every single piece of content needs to point someone to something that you sell. It's totally fine to just add the value and point someone into leaving a comment. Drop your aha, drop a big takeaway, drop the shift that you had, or even dropping something for free if you have something free going on, or inviting them into a conversation or into another video. There's so many other ways that we can service people that isn't just always buy my thing, because this is about an ecosystem. We are building up the trust. And not all 7 of these components needs to be in every single piece of content. This is why I say content is an ecosystem. You've got this content interacting with this content, interacting with this content. And it's so important that when you get that, now you're going to have all of these 7 components being touched upon in various contents. And that is how your audience is going to start seeing you in the expert authority that you already are. The goal isn't to try to make yourself an authority. We can't ever make ourselves to be more of an authority than we already are. What we're doing with the framework is we're positioning our already authority, we're positioning online so that people can see it, people can understand it, people can grasp it. And that authority is positioned when our audience knows that we see them, understand them, and hear them. We've got to understand them 10 times more than they understand themselves. We've got to know exactly what's going on in their brain. I already know when it comes to content, how much it's easy to overthink, how much it's easy to second guess, hesitate, not want to put something out because you're worried about being judged, or you have so many ideas, you don't know how to organize it. Which is why, as a deep thinker, as a person who kind of might even overthink at times, it's important to learn how to create the structure around your content. And that's why I'm hosting this challenge. So it's important for you to understand your people deeply, because the better you understand them, the better you can speak to them. The more rapport you're going to build, the more trust you're going to build, and the faster you're going to build trust. Trust can actually be built in an instant. Have you ever been in a conversation with a person and all of a sudden you're like, man, I feel like I can talk to you for hours. I feel like I've known you for a lifetime. Why do we feel like that? Because there's been some kind of rapport. There's been some kind of trust building, and it happened instantly because there was resonance, there was connection. And when that happens, you don't need a long time to build trust. Trust is built on resonance. And when our content is speaking from a framework, that is when we're going to build instant resonance, which means we now have instant trust, which means we are shortening the sales cycle. Instead of it taking someone a long time to buy from us, now there's instant resonance, there's instant trust, and there's an instant purchase. Because these things are happening because your content is hitting on all of these 7 components in various ways. And when you're doing that repeatedly, you're not just producing content, but your content is literally a legacy building tool, because you're creating content for a movement, not for a moment. And it's so essential that you Wrap your mind around this because you're going to stop treating content like a checklist and realize it is the legacy building tool. It's the thing that's going to free you. And you're going to build a much bigger brand that way around your ideas, around the way that you think, around your perspective. Your perspective is a combination of your story, your skill set, and your experience. And when you build your perspective online, people want more of that. They need to have that perspective. They like that way of thinking, which is why it's so important for you to have a framework because it literally extracts what's in your brain without you having to outsource any of your power by looking at what other people are doing and trying to create content off of that. That doesn't work. And it doesn't work because you aren't them. And it doesn't work because you carry a very different energy around the way that you do something, even though you might be helping someone achieve a desired result just as someone else. But the way you do it is the sauce, like the secret sauce. And it's because it comes from your perspective. So we want to put all of that into a framework that will create the focus that is necessary for your audience to see you as the authority that you already are and position you in the marketplace. If you want personalized help with this and the ability to ask questions and have them answered and implement this, be sure to join my upcoming challenge, the Content Authority Blueprint Challenge. I will post the link below. But in the meantime, I trust this video has blessed you and served you. Drop in the comment below any takeaways or ahas, and I will see you on the challenge.